Sublime magnificence. Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode that this guy hasn't seen. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host and runner mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hey Omar, thank you for having me back. As always, love being here, love doing this thing, trading these movies and TV shows and whatnot back and forth. One guy's seen, one guy hasn't. Uh, it is the favorite, my favorite section of this show when I get something put on me. So I'm super excited about it.
All right, so yes, we've been on a little bit of a action kick of sorts in recent weeks. And so I decided to keep it going with someone, that this channel has talked a lot about, but not necessarily about his movies, though we have covered one, The Rock. And I decided to go with 2010's Faster.
Faster from 2010, rated R. An ex-con gets on a series of apparently unrelated killings. He gets tracked by a veteran cop with secrets of his own and an egocentric hitman. It is directed by George Tillman Jr. It is written by Tony Gayton and Joe Gayton, and it stars Dwayne Johnson, Billy Bob Thornton, and Maggie Grace, as well as several others. Omari, why is
So,
there anything else other than The Rock?
um, as to why I initially saw it to watch, yeah, pretty
And to bring
much.
it and to
But
bring it to the
yeah,
table.
so yeah, back in the day, obviously grew up big rock fan, wrestling, yes. But 2010, he was getting his movie career out, and I thought about seeing this. I couldn't remember when I suggested this just why I wanted to watch this so much, other than The Rock. But I remember as I was watching it, it was advertised as a vengeance story. May have a little bit of an affinity toward those. Um, and so I was like, okay. And my cousin, or no, my cousin knew a guy who back in the day when Netflix used to let you do these thing called rent DVDs for the kids at home. There are these discs that you used to be able to watch movies on. You used to be able to rent them, and he would rent them, copy them, and give them to people. Not
Ooh, what
sell
was this
them,
guy's full name?
not sell them. I don't know his name. My cousin knew a guy.
You do a guy.
Yeah, he didn't sell them.
Oh, okay.
Just gave them.
Just gave him
Bottom
away.
line is, yeah. So I was like, "Ooh, can I get faster? That's the rock one, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." But then I forgot about the movie till we got Netflix for reasons recently, and it was on there, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, faster." I'm pretty sure Bill's seen a lot of these random rock movies. I'll just ask, seen faster? No. What the hell is that? All right. I'll suggest it eventually. And yeah, I decided to do it this week. You? So you haven't heard of Faster. So I guess I just get to
No, nothing in specific that I could pull from. Um, and thus I gave you the no on it. There was a part of me as I was about ready to get going with it where I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, I've seen this. Oh no, I think I've seen this. Spoilers, I hadn't.
oh, okay. Oh,
But for a second I thought, and honestly, what I'm now, because I'm scrolling through the IMDb of one Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and it may be a completely different movie that he isn't even in. That I thought for a second might have been the movie that we were about ready to watch. Other than that, I was expecting just kind of rock basic basic action with maybe like just a tinge of comedy. I remembered not seeing a comedy counterpart like a Sean William Scott in Rundown or Johnny Knoxville in Walking Tall. So I wasn't necessarily anticipating that, but just
Or a
kind
Kevin
of
Hart in every other movie.
what we know of The Rock, of just kind of just like that wink and smile to the camera, even though it's maybe not even there, but like the metaphorical wink and smile to the camera kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm anticipating here.
Yeah, yeah, I had forgotten a lot about the movie. I was like, how did I forget so much about this movie? I remember being so hyped to see it. Well, I'm gonna learn today. So to get into the movie, and I did, even though I saw the movie, I didn't look up the synopsis as I'm want to do on these things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, but it's not hard to know right off the bat that this is a revenge film. Like he's let out of prison. You see all the mutilated people that he mutilated on, and he's just, where's the exit? Dude's trying to be all philosophical with him. And yeah, he immediately just goes up to some dude's house. And the first standout moment I had was him crossing the street like a jackass, where he just parks, walks across the whole street through traffic, making all the cars stop, ignoring them all, just man on a fucking mission, walks
Yeah.
into an office, bam, shoots a guy, ready, go. Also, his name is Driver. He's only referred to as Driver for the majority of the movie slash subtitles.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's like, okay, we
Yeah.
are, well,
We
damn.
are we are nearing, but not quite. The movie hasn't fully revealed itself yet. We're still
Mhm.
just a few minutes away from that, to me. But we are nearing it revealing itself as Try Hard, the movie, or Too Much, the movie, Extra, the movie. It
John
is
Wick done wrong.
yeah, yeah, our main character doesn't have a name. He's just gonna be called the driver. And just like yeah, he walks across traffic and cars stop for him. It's building. And it's just like it's so generically basic in all of those notes so far, other than the moment of the first killing that is just so just like march straight into an office. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Boom, shot directly in the forehead. That was a like a come to Jesus moment for me for the movie. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
different film. Different film than I was expecting. This is not the film that I was expecting. I never saw the R rating. I
yeah.
think of The Rock and I just kind of think of
PG
PG-13.
13. Yeah.
Um so yeah, that was a definitely a moment. But even though even with that, it's still I'm just like, who is this guy? This guy is too much. This guy is way too much.
Like I said, this is like a prototype, which is why I said done wrong on it. It's like a prototype on the John Wick like style. Like he's supposed to be that kind of dude, or they make you think that early on because you see his you got the guy that sees his tattoo. There's some who I thought was funny when the guy goes, "Yeah, the price went up. Meet my Samoan friend." Like the Rock's not Samoan. And then the guy sees the tattoo on his arm and he's like,
Bro, it took me a long time to figure out what they wanted me to think that The Rock was. Like deep into that conversation with his mother, I was like, are they telling me that this motherfucker is white? Are they trying to tell me that this dude is white? They're not going to tell me why he's
he's like,
Oh, okay, they are going to reveal it in this conversation.
yeah, he's
Um
he's half.
So Too Much the movie now goes from the first killing, it now goes into the hardcore drug usage, we're a drug movie, and we've got really aggressively shaky cameras, and they're all really close, and this is intimate, and it's an awkward, and like it's a completely different movie. It's a completely different movie. We have now started the drug addict, grizzled detective, 2 weeks from retirement film starring Billy Bob Thornton. This
as
movie has
cop.
now started. Um,
Every other cop in the movie gets a name. Billy Bob is cop. Yeah, and yeah, he kind of assigns himself to this case,
mhm.
as we eventually find out. But like you said, heroin addict cop. Nobody on the force likes him. Oh, this guy again. Come in high slash drunk to work every day
Yep.
anyway.
He's working the case, but we've already gotten way too much about him. So I'm already looking at all of that fishy, and I'm like, what the fuck is all of this? Then we get Mike Epps and the Samoan, like you said.
The
Uh,
Price, I kind of like that scene just because he's like, yeah, Price went up. You got all that money, so so. And then he's like, fine, Price went up. And then immediately just puts his hand on the shoulder. Price went back down. You know what? I think I owe you a refund. My big scary dude looked at your arm and ran the fuck away. Ain't no way I'm
we good,
continuing
dude. I'm good. I
to.
ain't got nothing against you. I'm gonna leave right now. Just left. That was a good moment. I did like that.
Yeah. But yeah, we get the motivation. We find out that after he kills, I think, or right before he kills the second person, we get the motivation. Him and his brother,
Hmm.
after robbing a bank, of which he was the driver of
Because
the
the
bank
detective who
robbery.
took this case recognized The Rock's face from a video that she saw her first day as a detective
10
that
years ago.
she also left early for. She barely could watch it. She walked out of the room. But that man's face was ingrained in her forever.
Well, I mean, it's The Rock.
It is The Rock.
But yeah, that is kind of silly. She's like, I knew I saw this somewhere. Yeah, it was the snuff film where he and his brother got betrayed after getting away from a robbery by the people who will be getting killed in this movie.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like,
Speaking
okay.
about people getting killed in this movie, it's about time that we start our third film, Omari. It's the movie about the cool, sexy assassin who was
Named the
born with
Killer.
polio or some shit, and focused his knowledge and power so much on his physical fitness that he's dominated all aspects of the human body
He
to so
graduated.
much
He beat yoga.
so much so that he does assassinations on the side as a hobby. This is now our third and final film has been revealed to us.
Yeah, him and
Too
his wife.
much, the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. But we get him and his wife and that whole storyline, which I saw that and then I'm like, okay, the killer, oh, he had the leg surgery. Okay, I see. And you're like you said, you're stereotypical, I'm the hot killer assassin, dude. Look at me and my hot wife that I fuck all the time.
I
I
think his
kill
first
everybody
I think his
perfectly.
I think his first line of dialogue was like, I woke up this morning and did a six pose transition that only three people in the entire world have ever done. I've beaten yoga.
Yeah, I've beaten yoga. You've beaten yoga. Yeah, I've beaten it. Got nothing else for me. I've
Like,
done it.
that's establishing this man's character kind of thing.
Yeah, which to be fair, that's a lot of drive to go from the whatever condition he had as a kid, get whatever surgeries he needed for them scars, and now he's
Hmm.
super athlete.
A lot of drive, a really interesting, detailed, interesting backstory. So much so that I might want to have a film made about him.
Yeah, there's a separate film that doesn't have to do with the rest of it. And yeah, and I will say, kind of on that, because we eventually find out Cop has custody issues with his kid. But I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for the heroin junkie not having custody of his kid.
Yeah,
Um,
and by that point, I was like, oh well, he's the bad guy. Oh, well, he's the bad guy. Because there's literally no reason why we would be doing this much about, like, there's no reason that this guy would be this much of a focus of this film unless
He's
he
the
ends up
villain.
being the bad guy. He's the one who orchestrated the
Everything.
yeah, which is, I mean, like that's an easy plot thread for them to design since he's a detective.
Especially
Uh
with that tattoo line early on. She's like, "That what's that? Oh, the tattoo? I was once part of the crash team in LA. Yeah, bunch of rebels and shit. Really? You did all that crazy shit? What, I don't look like it? Okay." And then he kept having all the hunches throughout the movie of where he was going, where to go next.
Yeah, yeah. Like literally the second we got the scene of him picking up his kid and going to the ex-wife's house, I was like, "Oh, you're the villain. You're the bad guy." Because we would literally, we have no reason to to know about this, to see this, unless it somehow connects you to The Rock, in some way. And yeah,
I
it's
kind of wish this movie was if it was redone would just be more about The Rock versus Killer, like Driver versus Killer,
well, yeah, that's what
because
because I mean, I don't know if John Wick had been made yet, but it would be a really cool just just knockoff of John Wick if they just did that. Instead, I think that they're trying like
too
I
hard.
they're trying too hard. They're trying to make they think that they're making something else. Like
Uh-huh.
I think they think they're making like Heat or something like that. Like some like almost near Oscar baity kind of shit. Um uh which is just yeah, is not.
Yeah. They do a lot, but we do have The Rock going around killing people. There's the creepy old dude with the camera, smile for the camera, the fucking rapist. He deserved to die. Uh then that's when they had the first little shootout in the hall that makes Killer call his girlfriend like, I don't know, this guy's ridiculous. He's also, what is he fast? No, he's faster. There's the title. Um, but I'm like, yeah. But then he's like, you know what? He has his talks with his therapist. He's like talking to the girl, like, marry me. He's like, yeah. Did you see them getting married and stuff? I'm like, yeah, I care a lot more about Killer and him and his girl being happy because she just immediately takes to like shooting guns and stuff too once they get married. Like,
Right.
I'm cool with this couple, and I'm cool with Vengeance Man over here. I don't give a fuck about Billy Bob. That's how I felt like watching it. I'm like, I don't care. You're still on heroin. Like if you had actually recovered, sure, you're still actively doing heroin in your car and then going to the fucking crime scenes. Like, yeah, you don't deserve to have the kid. You won't treat them right. You're a heroin addict. I'm sorry to say that to any heroin addicts out there. Get clean. Um, that said, you had the hallway, you had the bathroom fight with him and the big dude, ice pick versus knife.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that that was like you kind of figured one of those had to happen at some point, of just like I've been waiting for you, and like you kind of like die like a man kind of thing of like, Georgie, get out of here.
I love that. I
You
love
didn't
that
see
touch.
nothing.
No matter who comes out, you didn't see a damn thing. Only
Yeah.
one of us is getting out of here, though. I'm like, you know what? Kudos to you and telling Joe to get out of there. And also telling Joe, don't be a snitch. And then it being like, what I thought was weird though was like not necessarily the fact that he gave The Rock his phone, said, "Tell my son I'm sorry," and The Rock tells the son, "Your dad said he's sorry. Yeah, something happened." Okay, interesting scene. But then The Rock like calling him back and shit like two more times. I'm like, okay, I liked it in the one moment. You don't really need to keep calling the son. Get rid of the dude's phone. If anything, the
Hmm.
cops can track you with that phone, which I know you don't care about going back to jail. Clearly, you looked at the camera after shooting the first guy.
Just
However, you
like
do want to kill all the people on your kill
his
list first.
his double tap of that man is the boldest thing in this film. Just just pulls straight up to the hospital entrance, marches straight in. He's like, surgery, where's surgery? Where's surgery? There, boom. Is that him? Yep. Open door, pull out gun, fire 3 times, and then just dips. Like,
Jesus.
like there's no John Wicking about it. He's just
Yeah, he's just him
he's
in
just
his own
murdering
universe.
people.
He's just
Yeah.
murdering people. I meant him not with the capital H. That he's just himself. Um, yeah. So there was that, and I thought it was funny when we get to we finally get a fucking chase scene. It's a movie called Faster. It took forever to get the fucking car chase. Well, I mean, we had the first one in the flashback
We had the
with the
flashback,
cops.
but it was yeah, it was
It was
yeah.
mainly The Rock driving in reverse and
Yeah,
then
and it
turning real
was
quick.
mostly filming The Rock pretending to drive in reverse. It wasn't even much like outside of the car stuff.
Yeah. So I like that we finally had kind of a car chase on the highway between Killer and Driver. And Killer actually got his ass with the bullet, like he grazed him, but still, no one else has been able to do shit to this man all movie. And we all
Right.
know about The Rock's rumored, I'm not
It
allowed
was
to
after
lose
he
a
gave
fight.
him the attempt though too. Like he gave it like he beat him. That was that because that was the thing that really crushes his soul at that.
Yeah,
I again like
but at
all
that point, it's
three of
natural
these
selection for
movies
me.
are movies that I would be very interested in. I want more of this assassin who like has encountered the but I also don't need to know that much about the other guy who keeps beating him. It can just be another faceless assassin, nameless assassin, and he's on a job and it's slowly destroying him that this dude keeps giving him the one up and lets him live out of it all. And so that just infuriates him more. And like I wouldn't mind seeing that movie. Um the heroin addict cop who is 10 days away from retirement, who just caught a case that he realized if the case is done properly, somebody will find out that he's going that he fucking killed some bank robbers
Every
like 10
time,
years ago.
every time he mentioned he was 10 days from retirement. I'm 7 days from retirement. You think I'm gonna fuck this up now? I'm 5 days from retirement. You think I'm gonna fuck this up now? Yes, I do.
Because you keep saying it.
Jesus, all I need to hear is someone say that once, and I know the trope.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's dead. You
Like fuck,
can't
don't you have
be.
sick days? Just just throw up the flag from here.
Use your PTO on your
You could
last two
probably
weeks at the
coast.
job. I did that
Yeah.
once. Use your PTO that you have stored up on your last 2 weeks of the job. I did that once. That was cool. You could have easily done. It's retirement. You get a guaranteed check to feed your addiction. You whatever. Bottom line is yeah, I'm with you. But I did like that he got that shot on the Rock. Yeah, the Rock shot his tire at first, and technically was like, haha. But for me, I'm like, that's natural selection. That's what you fucking get. Shoot the guy. He's clearly here to kill you. You know what I mean? It's like, well, that's what you get. Think you invincible. Nah, I don't care. I'm here to kill you.
Yeah, that's what I liked the final scene between the two of them where The Rock was like, I ain't got nothing against you. And he was like, I've been trying to kill you for 3 days. What do you mean you don't have anything against me? I'm actively holding a gun to your head.
Right, like, half a foot north of the patch you have on your neck from me shooting you.
The only one who's even scratched you so far.
And then yeah, he has the conversation with the mom where we get the whole reveal that him and his brother are more like half brothers, if anything. And she lied to the dad and told him that The Rock was his, but the dad didn't believe it because why the fuck would he? Uh
We got so much in that. Like it's like a 5 minute scene, And first we get the surprise reveal that it's his mom.
Yeah,
We get the reveal that he thinks that his father
planned
is
everything.
the end person on his list. Then we get the reveal that he was an abused, mistreated, like ugly stepchild son of like a bastard child son for this guy. Um and then the movie gives you confirmation of the twist
Yeah,
that Billy Bob is like, well, that Billy Bob's ex-wife was
was the informant
was
that
Jacob's
got him in there.
girlfriend,
Yeah, I
and
wonder who set us up.
close up on
I'm like, isn't that dude's wife?
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
reason why there's only one Spanish woman in this movie. It's for that moment. And so that you can say that's definitely I know who that is.
Pretty much. So yeah, then he finally tracks down the last person he thinks is on his list, the preacher, who, you know, Nat 20 fucking persuasion roll to convince this man not to shoot you. This man has been on a mission for everybody. But yes, it would be very hard to shoot a preacher, even when you're bloodlusted with vengeance, especially when the man breaks down with the hymn. Who's right here? John the Revelator. God, please do. Free this man from torment. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how easy it would be for me to pull a trigger in that position.
Yeah,
Like
and
you like so it would be the coldest in cold blood thing that you can do.
right, and particularly his supporting evidence in the flashback that we the audience saw, and then they reminded us of if The Rock would have then still shot him, it would have been hard for us as the audience to continue to support him.
Yeah, because he's like, dude, I didn't want them to do it. I had no idea they would do it.
Look at my reaction in that flashback. I'm clearly surprised, startled, and upset about what happened.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, he lets him live. And yeah, we get the final little standoff with killer versus driver. Fight me, damn it. Oh, I don't want to. Billy Bob comes in because he's been having hunches this whole movie. So did Quasimodo. Hell of a comeback to a lineup. I got a hunch. Hadn't heard that one before. Anyway, he comes in, holds the gun up to the dude, makes him drop it. You think it's this, and then he just shoots Rock in the back of the head. And I was like, I don't remember The Rock losing this movie. Oh wait, doesn't he have a metal plate in the back of his head? Is that gonna come into play? Uh, and as he does it, it's revealed he's the one who shot The Rock in the head way back when on the snuff film tape. Rock was supposed to die, but instead he got surgery and got a metal plate in his head. And so now here's the dude failing twice to shoot a man in the head. Now, I'm not gonna act like it's only in movies where you can shoot someone in the back of the head and they live. I have a relative who has survived that situation. I won't go into the details, but he did survive getting shot in the back of the head and is fine now. That said, I doubt he'd do it twice. Uh, that's crazy. Also, if you're the guy who did it twice and you failed both times, again, natural selection. You deserve whatever's coming to you. And sure enough, because the killer, he's disappointed. It gets revealed that he does all his jobs for $1. It's literally this killing stuff's a hobby for him to get a fix, so he can have a challenge at something. But he's thinking, Rock's dead, so there goes all his motivation to keep doing the job. It was about to ruin his new wedding marriage anyway, so he gets to ride off into the sunset with his wife. And then the Rock just shoots Billy Bob in the back of the head and is like, I fucking got you. Okay, I'm gonna drive away now. The end. It was such a random, just like, oh, and that's how it ends. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted one final showdown with the killer and driver. Like you said, if it was a different movie, I would have been perfectly fine with those two.
Yep.
Either one of them versus
Yep.
the other guy.
Go back to 2010 and make three different movies. On one, you have The Rocks, and you have none of the detective side stories, and to cover up the ending of that, just go ahead and make the dad thing the
Yeah.
ending and extend the movie by actually having cool fight scenes and cool action sequences. Other than Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing an action hero, but then he just walks in and shoots somebody in the face. Or they build up to a big bathroom fight and then it's just like stab, 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 dead. It's over in like 4 seconds. Um, uh, uh, so yeah, you make that action film, then you make the detective film that plays out exactly like what we just saw, but none of the rock bullshit. It's just some random psycho killer
Yeah, that you're trying to track
from the
down.
film's perspective. And then the very end, you give the reveal that the detective created the psycho killer and it's actually a revenge tale that you didn't know you were watching this whole time. And it ends the exact same way this film ended. Would be perfect, and it would be that would be an Oscar baity kind of film. And then yeah, you have the cool assassin. Like I feel like the assassin movie is played by like Chris Pine or something like that. You know, one of the Chris's, and it's just like the cool, sexy assassin, and it's like kind of a little bit of a comedy and
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of a romance comedy. And in the end,
And yeah, and you
he
and your
ends up
tragic, yeah, your drama aside from just it's what it's doing to his marriage. Like it's
yeah
got its own little subplot to it
yeah.
because you
And
want them to be happy.
the end for that movie is the end of his story in this one,
Yeah.
where him and the person that he was playing games with the whole movie, they're finally just like, you know what, we're done. This is fucking crazy. We're out of this business. And then he leaves and calls his wife just like he did, and honey, I'm coming home. And yeah, you still can get the reveal of like, hey, I didn't pay you. Why do you work for $1 anyway? Just call it a hobby or something like
You
that.
can even keep the dollar this time.
Yeah, I mean like that's all cool. But because they're all three in the same movie, none of them get the
Yeah.
none of them get to do what they need to do. We don't have any really good emotional dramatic scenes with Billy Bob Thornton. The
They try to with him and the kid
and
talking
it
about
feels
baseball, but
unearned. Yeah, and then the incident after that, it feels it doesn't because I feel well that's from my perspective at least watching the film at that point I know that he's going to be the bad guy. If I'm just watching a movie about a detective who's struggling with addiction, trying to work a case as he retires, then that scene plays completely differently. But because I know that the protagonist is the other guy, then this guy's not the protagonist kind of
pretty
thing.
much. Uh, yeah, because it's like, are you trying to make me feel bad for the villain? Because I don't. But
Yeah.
yeah. So that said, I think we pretty much touched on everything in the movie. Faster, trying too hard or everything. Like, what's the overall feel on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't feel like it's a waste of my time or anything.
Hmm.
Like it's not bad. But and there's definitely cool moments in it. Um, but yeah, I just wish
High potential, low execution.
yeah, I just wish it was three different. I just wish it was since I came in for the Rock. I just wish it was like you said, where it was just like a John Wick clone starring
Mhm.
The Rock, and
Yeah,
we could just have that movie. I would have been happier with that.
yeah. I'm in a similar boat. Like I said, I had forgotten everything about this movie pretty much coming into it. And I was like, why did I like this so much? When I'm like, what am I expecting? I'm expecting a bad movie. but hopefully a fun one. And I had enough fun with it to keep it from being a terrible one. But like you said, they tried to shove three movies into one, and it wasn't as good as like a Pulp Fiction. Low execution, high potential, low execution leads to kind of a meh for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So faster. It's The Rock. Do you like The Rock? Want to see him kill some people?
Yeah, do
I
you want to be
guess.
a completionist about The Rock's catalog? This isn't going to make you upset.
No.
Otherwise, I'd say don't like there's other things
Oh
to
yeah.
to to play, but like it's not gonna if you're really into The Rock, you got to watch this and you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. So that said, what are we watching next week, Bill?
Well, that's a good question, Omari. Do you know what time of year it is?
I'm assuming, based off of the previous conversation, it's nearing Oscar season or award
Previous
season.
previous conversation?
Couple episodes ago.
Oh, well, okay. Yes, you're correct. Um, but it's just a question of what do I choose to represent? That as we know from our last attempts at it, we can grab some current films on the award circuit right now, and maybe some ones from the past. Um, so I am looking at one that's already been on our list. It's an older film that I'm going to choose. It received a Oscar win for Best Supporting Actor, as well as nominated for several other awards. We are going to watch Jerry Maguire
Show
next
me
week,
the movie.
fresh right after 1 week and 2 days after the Super Bowl. Classic. This guy hasn't seen timing.
What do you mean? Be like 2 days after Super Bowl. Oh no, it won't. You're right. I'm dumb.
Yeah, this is airing 2 days after this.
Yep.
We're
Sure
talking
is.
2 days after the Super Bowl, Amari. What
Sure
are you talking
is.
about?
Look,
Wasn't
man,
that a great game?
life is like,
Mistake-free, disciplined football.
hey, that's what they do. Biggest stage of it all, that you can count on them to not make any mistakes whatsoever. I like how
You
we're
know, if you
already.
like if you like to see us talk about sports and maybe understand that inside joke we just made, you can check us out live every Saturday at 11 o'clock on this channel. We do You Don't Watch Sports, where we just cover three sports topics just to sprinkle a little bit of sports information into your casual conversation as we are your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. We also got some mock draft episodes coming out because it's WrestleMania season. We're going to be pumping out a bunch of wrestling shows. Yes, that is our wrestling show now. We've just declared it. That's just what it is, and you're going to see a bunch of stuff coming out wrestling over there on mock draft. Usually, will drop on Mondays if the upload on YouTube doesn't error on me.
Oh, gotta love that.
Omari, what else you got for him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, occasionally, whenever it happens again, we'll have Whatever We Want podcast. And me and a good friend of mine,
Whenever
Infinity
they want.
Channels. Yep.
Super
Super.
Jazz.
Thank you very much that you attended. I also have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That's Giotavi. Come on in. Stop on by. I'm streaming every day, 240. You know what that means. We're about 100 something
240.
days in. 120 something days in, too. Right.
Ooh,
Going strong.
going strong. Is it halfway there? Nobody knows.
All right. So, Bill, you got anything else you want to say to the folks? Clearly not. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Jerry Maguire.
Yeet.
Adiosness.